Hey, what's up you guys? Today I wanted to do a video discussing
the myth of love triangles.
I watched a few videos recently and some people would just talk about some of the love triangles that I've seen, and it kind of made me think about all of the love triangles that I love because I'm one of those people who is just trash for a good love triangle. And it's one of those tropes where I just really enjoy it. I don't really know why because it is a super overdone trope, but I love it. So let's just kick it off with the most iconic love triangle of all time. We've got Jacob versus Edward, and then Bella in the middle just having no emotion and just in general being very apathetic towards everything. I don't have a lot of words for Bella, but I do have a lot of words for Edward and Jacob. So Twilight is just a series that made me fall in love with young adult books, and so I really loved all of the romance that was also done in Twilight. I know that it's not perfect, I know that the relationships are a little problematic, but I'm sorry y'all, I'm never gonna not love Jacob. So I love Edward, but Jacob was just always more my favorite of the two. I just felt like he had more to offer Bella. I know that a relationship is about more than what one person can offer the other one, but Edward was just so annoying and brooding, and he left. Like, he straight up left her. Like, what a douchebag. I mean, I get that he was doing it like for her protection or whatever, but like, dude, no, that's not cool. And New Moon was just such a hard book to read because you're just so heartbroken over the fact that Edward left. And it's like, what do you do now? Because you've got this hole in your heart and Bella's got this hole in your heart, and everything is just a depressing mess because so many months passed and there's no Edward. There's just pages with the months on them, and you just go around and it's so heartbreaking. So I've always been a bigger fan of Jacob just because New Moon was so heartbreaking. Like, Edward leaving, it hurts. It hurts, man. And so after Twilight, I went on and read City of Bones. And so in City of Bones, we've got Jace and Simon with Clary in the middle. This was one of those love triangles that I didn't even realize it was a love triangle until someone else pointed it out to me, because Simon never in my mind even seemed like someone Clary would ever go for. It was always Jace. Like, even when they were brother and sister, it was always Jace, which just made me so uncomfortable. City of Ashes is such an uncomfortable book to read. I remember like I had to Google it midway through City of Ashes whether or not they were actually siblings, because I was like, they can't be. They just can't be. Also, spoilers, but I don't really care. They were siblings and it was just uncomfortable, but you also still shipped it, so it was weird. Does anyone else remember that like hashtag that went around that was like, I ship incest? So the next love triangle was the Juliet, Adam, and Warner love triangle from Shatter Me. So on one side we've got Adam, and then we've got Warner, and then we've got Juliet in the middle trying to pick between the two. And this was one of the love triangles that I really enjoyed, and I could see both options as being viable options. Like in Twilight, the entire time you know Bella's gonna pick Edward. In her mind, when you're reading the books, there's no chance that she's gonna pick Jacob. If I were in her position, I would have picked Jacob, but emotionally she was always with Edward. Same goes for the City of Bones. Clary was always with Jace. But with Juliet, Adam, and Warner, Juliet started off being with Adam, but over time, as Adam changed and as she changed, her feelings started to develop towards Warner. This has a lot of spoilers in it. I apologize, you guys. You really don't know who she's gonna pick in the end, but for me, I was always the bigger fan of Warner. Adam was just too overprotective for me, and it really irritated me. There's another love triangle that I'm gonna talk about where one of the guys was just so overprotective, but like, she can do stuff for herself. She is strong. She is an independent woman. She does not need you to take care of her, and it just frustrated the hell out of me. So if you liked Adam, comment down below what you liked about him so that we can kind of discuss the things that we like and don't like about these characters. The next love triangle that I wanted to talk about was the Feyre, Tamlin, and Rhys love triangle from the ACOTAR series. This was kind of like the Shatter Me series where I could kind of see her picking either one, but after Akamath I just couldn't see her picking Tamlin. He was just terrible. He was so overprotective like Adam, but he also went kind of behind her back and didn't tell her anything. He was just a worse version of Adam in my opinion, because Adam at least never did anything to actually hurt Juliet. Tamlin did things to hurt Feyre. Like, I know it was unintentional, but it still is terrible, and so he's just a terrible person in my opinion, and so I hate him. The next love triangle I wanted to talk about was Katniss, Peeta, and Gale. So we've got Peeta and Gale and Katniss in the middle. And this is one love triangle where it's like, I wish she'd pick the other guy. Cause like, Peeta, don't get me wrong, he's always very solid and stuff, but Gale's at least like strong and does stuff for himself, you know? Like, this is almost the opposite where Katniss is too overprotective of Peeta. Like, Peeta needs to be able to take care of himself, and I feel like we don't get to see enough of him taking care of himself because it's always her. Like, it's always her going and rescuing him. It doesn't happen in the reverse. So I just feel like it's a little one-sided, but with the one-sided being on Katniss's side, which is different than what we normally see. And it's also one-sided with like the emotions too, because like whenever you're reading the book, it never feels like Katniss has any emotions towards Peeta. It's just he got caught up in something, and so she's caught up in it too, and so they kind of have to fake it. And that's how it always felt to me. It never felt genuine on her part. So I just didn't like that she wound up with Peeta in the end. It just didn't feel natural to me. I would have rather her wind up with nobody, honestly. But if I had to pick one of the two, I would pick Gale if the ending to Mockingjay had been changed. The fact that Gale kind of helped to orchestrate what's-her-name's death kind of irritates me because that feels out of character for him. I mean, it felt a little bit too cruel for him in my opinion. Like, he's not an evil guy. He never really seemed to be an evil guy. He just seemed to be strong opinioned. So I felt like that was a little much to have him do that. So that's one of the things. Like, Mockingjay is not my favorite book. I really get irritated with that book. But that's one of the things where I'm like, why was that written that way? Like, we don't need to make Gale an evil guy for her not to pick him. She could just not pick anyone. But it's fine because artistic choices are a thing. So the next love triangle I want to talk about is Aspen, Maxon, and America Singer from the Selection series. So I know that this is a series that a lot of people love and a lot of people hate. I love it. When I say I love it though, I'm talking about the first 3 books in the series. I haven't read any of the ones that are about America's daughter or whatever because I don't care about her. I hate America to begin with. I don't know why I love the Selection so much because America is annoying as shit. She really like just is so whiny, and it's like, poor me, I'm gonna be famous. But anyways, she can also not make a decision to save her life. And so this one, it's kind of up in the air the entire time in my opinion who she's gonna pick. But also like, I love Maxon, so I'm not surprised she picked him. I didn't feel like we got a lot about him as a character, so it's kind of understandable why she didn't pick him because the author makes it pretty obvious that she's not going to pick him. But like, God, I love Maxon. But America's annoying, so, you know. But I do love the Selection because I'm a trash person and I love The Bachelor and I love all those reality dating shows. I am currently watching Too Hot to Handle. If you are currently watching that as well, comment down below. Let's discuss because that show is a mess. And so the last love triangle I wanted to talk about was Jem, Will, and Tessa, and this is the perfect love triangle, like the absolute perfect love triangle. I adore this love triangle. If anyone ever writes a love triangle and it is anywhere near this one, then I'm just so pleased with it because chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. I don't know how to fucking do the chef's kiss, but chef's kiss to this one because like, this is one of those love triangles where there's no way for anyone to make a decision without hurting someone else. Because not only does Tessa have a relationship with both Jem and Will are also parabatai, so they've got this strong bond too. So if Jem and Tessa want to be together, Will is not just getting hurt by Tessa, he's getting hurt by Jem too. And so it's so awesome and I absolutely adore it. And I love how this one ends with not really either one of the two guys getting picked. They both get their time to shine and I love it. This is like my favorite all-time love triangle. But on a completely separate side note, if she did have to pick just one of them, I would pick Will because I'm a trashy person and I like the trashy guy. So thank you so much for watching. If you agree with any of my picks for who I would pick in these love triangles, comment down below, or if you disagree, comment down below. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about who you liked in love triangles and what are some love triangles that you really liked. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I post videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, so I will see you then. Goodbye!